Hi guys, happy Sunday. Welcome. We have a couple of new faces actually on this call. We had a handful of new people coming to Fitme, and I didn't get to call last week because of the 4th of July. So it's great to see your faces. We're so glad that you're here. We're going to get right to it. So this Sunday call, you're going to always, for the new people, you're always going to walk away with something actionable to talk to your coach about. So the idea is that we kind of set our week on the right course, and then you have something specific that you're like, okay, I'm going to talk to my coach about this from the Sunday call. It can be a topic. It might just be a question. It might be, we've done different kinds of questions, like how do you best receive feedback, like that kind of thing. So talk to your coach about that. So it can be something that's very actionable, or it can be something more conversational. And so first off, congrats to the handful of you I want to do a couple congratulations. So hang on a second. So I want to first congratulate the people who are doing the challenge. That is really fun. I am glad you're doing it. I'm doing it. I feel like this is a really good reminder and a really good awareness tool. So a lot of people are like, can I do the challenge if I'm already in Fitme? Yes, because it's all of our great stuff. We're just turning up the intensity, and you should a lot. So the first thing I want to say is congrats for doing it if you signed up, but be sure to talk to your coach along the way. So make sure you're touching base with your coach, talking to them about what is hard, what you're succeeding at, what you're dealing with, all that good stuff. Second, congrats is a handful of you guys completed your first 12 weeks. We're actually calling that phase 2 now. Finishing your foundation in your first 12 weeks and then moving on to phase 3. A handful of you guys just did that for yourself. And so I just wanted to say congratulations to that too. So if you haven't heard me break this down before, phase 1 is kind of our 7-day reset. Everybody starts there. We all have started there. We have that tool in our toolbox. You finish phase 1, you move on to phase 2. Phase 2 is about the foundations, putting those basics in place, kind of creating your own personal routine around habits and nutrition, seeing that those first successes that happens in that first 12 weeks. Then phase 3 is a minimum of 9 months and sometimes longer. This is like the milestone phase. This is where people start to create new milestones, whether that's a new weight loss low, whether that's doing something for the first time, like, their first 5K or their first marathon. Maybe it's like wearing clothes they've never worn before, or maybe it is like signing up for something they've never thought that they would do before. That happens in that milestone phase. And so I want to start congratulating people who move from that first foundation or the second, that first 12 weeks into, our milestone phase. And because that's a big step. That's basically where you step into uncharted territory. To me, it's like, we can all commit to something for short term. It's a bigger deal when you commit to something for the long term, for taking care of yourself. So, and then phase 4, some of you guys are actually in phase 4, where you start life completely differently. You start to be a leader in your community. You start to be a leader in your family. You start to be some people become coaches. It's like taking what has changed you and turning it into, your life. And so we've got people in that too. So just wanted to highlight some of those congratulations before we dive into the topic for the week. Topic for the week, I'm calling it the 3+1. And this is what your target is for the week, is 3 wins and 1 thing that you want to do differently. And so while you're going through your week, I want you to specifically look for things that you're going to celebrate as wins. So it can be big things, but it can also be small things. And you're going to pick 3 things that you're like, yeah, I'm going to celebrate these. These are wins for me. And you're going to share those with your coach. And then you are going to pick 1 thing, and we're not going to call it all like a fail. We're going to say, I want to do this. And I say it that way on purpose because it's not like this didn't go. It's more proactive than that. It's looking at your week and saying, like, here are the things that I did okay, and here's this thing that I am not just observing that go well. I can and will do it differently next week. And that's what I want you to share with your coach. And you're practicing something that you can utilize really any week. You might be like, I need this in my life. I want to do 3+1 forever and ever. And you can, because this is a great way. It's a great tool to assess something and highlight things you might have missed. So sometimes we actually are really terrible at summarizing how a day went or how a week went. And maybe you've done this before where you've actually, like, you get to the end of your day and you're like, oh my God, today went terrible. And then you start telling someone about it. So then they're like, what happened? And you start to recount it and you realize the whole day didn't go terrible at all. Like, it was actually pretty fine. This one thing did. And then, but we kind of categorize the entire day like that. So this happens a lot to people with their nutrition. They will have an entire day where they ate like a really solid breakfast. Maybe they got a workout in, they ate a decent lunch, they had an okay snack, but then maybe the day went sideways and they ended up like, you know, eating a bunch of kids' cereal, forgetting about dinner, you know, and then like putting it together at the last minute with that isn't what we planned. Mute the doggo. So what we tend to do is say that the day was a disaster. It didn't go well, when that would not be actually accurate. And so if we get in the habit of like looking back and say, okay, well, little win here, I can pick 3 things that I did right. And then, okay, this is what I will definitely do differently. I will not let myself get starving in the afternoon because I went ahead and just said, screw it, and dove into the snack drawer that I didn't even want. And so I'm going to do that differently. But it gives you a much more balanced assessment of a day. And so we're going to use it for the week. We are going to use it as a something you can practice this week and you can keep going with if you need it and you want it, but you can always return to it. And your coach may ask you, like sometimes I've had coaching conversations with people and they are telling me all of the bad things. They like to reverse it. I'd be like, tell me how the week went. And they list me 15 things that they did not succeed. And that is not be accurate. That cannot be all that happened this week. But we tend to focus on that. We do tend to focus on the negative. So it takes practice to start highlighting the wins. And why? Because you need a gold star. No, you do not need a gold star for your little wins. It's because deliberately focusing on the small choices that you're making and acknowledging them helps you make more of them. And so everybody always, it's like a really fun meme. It's not like the big things, it's the small things that add up. But until it comes to actually like doing that, then we're like, oh, well, it's silly to celebrate this small thing. It's not. It's actually not, because those are the things that add up to start to build momentum. So it's not just about like giving yourself, you know, a pat on the back or a gold star when you didn't deserve it. It's about acknowledging the things, that the small things that you're doing, that you can continue to do more of. And it's empowering, because maybe you have had a couple of days or a couple of weeks that have just gone in your mind. And if we get in the habit of starting to celebrate small wins, then we can easily get back on track, because it can start with something small. It doesn't have to start with something epic. Like, you know, you can literally say, well, I haven't been to the gym in 3 months, but today I went ahead and I met my friend at the park and we went on a 3-mile walk. So that's the beginning of something better. And we get in the habit of that. So your target for this week is the 3+1. You need to report to your coach 3 wins from this week and 1 thing that you're going to do differently. Let me hear what your guys' thoughts are on this topic, on celebrating little wins, on maybe if you're somebody who focuses on the like negative more than the positive, if that's you, how do you get out of that place?
I will say, so I have a little calendar actually that I like check in with, or try to check in with every day. And so I kind of have been doing this kind of on my own. And there's definitely been weeks where I've gone back, like I've thought that the week was terrible, and I've gone back and I've been like, actually, I got my water like 5 out of 7 days, and I got a Fitme plate in at least 4 days this week, and like a Fitme inspired plate pretty much every day. And maybe like, yeah, I haven't done movement any day this week, but I still have done, 60% of the things most days of the week.
Mm-hmm. I like that you write it down. That's a grill. That is like having your own sanity check on your week. Practicing saying it out loud to a coach is great. Writing it down is like doing it for yourself too, having that reflection. I like that. It's another reason why we use the trackers. So the Google Sheets tracker is not everybody's favorite because it's Google Sheets, which hold tight and hang on, because just in a couple of months this will be on an app and you won't have to use Google Sheets anymore. But the thing about Google Sheets is it's almost like a journal, like Ashley's saying. Like you might think you didn't do anything, but then you start to look back and you're like, actually, I did pretty well, because you have it written down. You can actually see it. Then you're not arguing with yourself about it either.
I write it down.
Oh, go ahead.
I write it down too because I find that really helpful, because I do get discouraged and think that nothing's going very well. And so being able to look back on that is really helpful for me. And then I had a technical question. So this 3+1, is this, we're looking at 3 things from last week that we did well and something we would like to do better to report on Tuesday to our coach, or is this moving forward from here?
If you know last week, if you're like, I already know, you can tell your coach that. That way you guys can talk about it. Like, I don't know, forgot about last week in my mind, it's over, it's gone. Then you can do it this week. You can like think about this week as you're going through it.
So Christy, I was going to ask, once the app is in place and up and running, will we still have access to our old Google Sheets trackers?
For sure. You can have that for as long as you want.
Cool.
But we've got some time before it's ready to go.
Yeah. And the app will be compatible with Android and iPhone?
Yes, it will. Yep.
I will. Yep. I'm going to say that I had a super win yesterday. I woke up at 4 a.m. and I didn't really want to be up yet, but I decided, you know what, this is the time I would be getting up on the weekday for a work day. And so even though my hubby was still in bed, I knew he was going to be getting up for work. So I got myself up, did my mobility drills, got outside and took like almost an hour walk, and then came back in, got some, I had a salad for breakfast with chicken, and I think I put a plum or a peach on it, and then some walnuts. And then I went out and weeded for 4 hours.
Do you think there was one decision that dominoed the others?
I think starting doing my mobility drills and getting that walk.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Making myself get up and getting that movement in.
Doing a little win, like getting up when you don't feel like it, but just sticking to that schedule and getting that one little thing probably led to all of the other ones.
Yeah.
I like it. That's good, Kristen. Yeah.
Thanks.
Good work. And I like salad for breakfast sometimes.
Yeah, I'm kind of getting a little bit bored of the salad thing, but I'm eating up the leftovers from last Sunday.
Yeah. Does anybody else have a little win that they already know that they want to share?
I can share.
Yeah.
I actually have a little win book. It's called I'm Kind of Awesome.
What? That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a knock knock, like the knock knock stuff. People published it.
Mhm.
It's $10. It's called I'm Kind of Awesome, and you just enter your wins and you date them so you can look back on them. So my win is that I moved on vacation. I went to Maine, and normally on vacation, I'm out of my routine, so I don't move. And I did actually some two-a-days in Maine,
Dang.
so that was cool.
What did you have to do to make that happen?
First, I told everyone I was going to do it. So like I told my sister that I'm going downstairs this morning, and then I'm going again this afternoon. So then like it's awkward when you say something and then you don't do it, so you have to do it.
Mhm.
And I use the Peloton app. So like I have a bike at home, but the app actually has a lot of workouts in it. So I told myself, like in the mornings it was easier because you don't have time to lose motivation in the morning. You're just not awake enough. In the afternoons, I'd be like, okay, 10 minutes. But by the time 10 minutes is over, you only have like 10 or 20 minutes left. So then you might as well stick it out.
Mhm.
So that's what I did.
You nailed it. I think even a win like celebrating that you got movement in on your vacation and while you're in Maine, there is something that contributes to that win, and like identifying the fact that you like announced it to people that you were going to do it. So key. And you had something like practical and doable that you were like, okay, I can do this with this app. I love that.
Yeah.
I really think that that's great. It's a really good one. And I love that you said you told people.
Hey, Christy, really quick, are you going to talk? I don't really get on Facebook much. Are you going to talk more about what the challenge is, or is there somewhere, where should I go to get that information?
We did a kickoff call, and so it was actually about 45 minutes ago.
Bummer.
But that's okay. It went out over email, so maybe the email went to your junk. I will post the link. You should get another email, Kristen. You signed up for it, right?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, you should get another email right now. So check your junk, and it has everything.
Okay, great. Thank you. Sorry about that. I must have missed my email.
No, it's okay. Sweet, guys. Well, I think you guys know your target for the week, the 3+1, and definitely have a conversation with your coach about it. And if you have an accountability buddy, I think this is also like a good thing to help them celebrate. If they suck at celebrating little wins, this is something that they can get better at. I've had this conversation with so many of you and also me that it feels silly sometimes until it's not. And so everything that we do, like a lot of it returns us back to how do we build a more resilient foundation, and how do we make sure that we can always get back on track. And this is one of those strategies. And so it's a really important one. So don't skip it. All right, guys. You all have a fantastic week. If you need anything, just let me know. And we will see you guys soon.
Thanks, Kristen.
All right. Bye, guys.
Have fun in Hawaii.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks.